The Tocqueville Effect and Transforming Your Mindset. The Library Revelation. This is a story of someone in an ancient library. I was sitting in an old library a few years ago, surrounded by dusty books that hadn't been touched in decades. It was one of those quiet places where time seemed to slow down. I randomly picked up a book on social change, and one line jumped out at me. The closer society gets to achieving equality, the more glaring its inequalities become. That one sentence sparked a chain reaction in my mind. How is it that when things are improving, we sometimes feel worse? How does progress make us focus on what's missing instead of what's gained? This paradox is what's known as the Tocqueville Effect, and understanding it can unlock your ability to grow mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Before we get started, what's up? My name's Nick Jackson, and my channel dives into philosophy, psychology, conspiracy, and spirituality. If any of those topics light a spark in you, hit that subscribe button and like this video to help me out with the algorithm. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so start a conversation in the comments down below. Now let's dive in. Alexis de Tocqueville was a 19th century French philosopher who noticed something fascinating. When people get closer to achieving their goals, they often feel less satisfied. Why? Because the progress highlights what still isn't perfect. Imagine climbing a mountain. As you near the summit, the view is breathtaking, but you also start to notice just how far the peak is. This applies to everything in life: your career, relationships, and personal growth. Think about it. Have you ever achieved something great only to immediately start thinking about the next hurdle? Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. You achieve something, you feel good for a moment, and then you reset your expectations. Here's a quote that drives this point home. "Comparison is the thief of joy," said Theodore Roosevelt. When you compare where you are to where you think you should be, you sabotage your happiness. But there's a way out of this trap, and it starts with reframing your mindset. Let me share a personal story. A few years back, I was working non-stop to build my career. I ticked off several big goals, but instead of celebrating, I was constantly thinking about what I hadn't done. One day I met a man who'd lost everything: his home, his family, his health. Yet he was one of the most joyful people I'd ever met. His secret was gratitude. He told me something I'll never forget. Every breath you take is a gift. Every moment is a chance to create. That hit me like a ton of bricks. I started writing down 3 things I was grateful for every day. And over time, it shifted my focus. Science backs this up. Studies from Harvard show that practicing gratitude can increase your overall happiness by up to 25%. Tocqueville wasn't just talking about individuals, he noticed this effect in entire societies. When people fight for freedom, they celebrate when they win, but soon after they become more aware of what freedoms they don't have. It's a cycle we see in history, from revolutions to civil rights movements. Alain de Botton once said, "The progress of humanity is a double-edged sword. Each step forward reveals new heights we have yet to climb." Think about that in your own life. The more you grow, the more potential you see for growth. But what if you shifted your focus from what's missing to what's already incredible about your journey? There's a psychological reason we fall into this trap. Our brains are wired to focus on negatives. It's what's called the negativity bias. Evolutionarily, this made sense. Our ancestors had to be hyper-aware of threats to survive. But in today's world, this bias can sabotage our mental health. Here's a wild statistic. Research from the National Science Foundation found that 80% of our thoughts are negative, and 95% are repetitive. That means most of us are stuck in loops of self-doubt and comparison. But here's the good news. You can rewire your brain. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, means that with intentional habits, you can train your mind to focus on the positive. Now let's talk about how this ties into the bigger picture. The Tocqueville effect isn't just a personal or societal phenomenon, it's something that can be exploited. Look at how social media operates. Algorithms are designed to show you what you lack. Ads flood your feed with reminders of what you haven't done. The system profits from your dissatisfaction. Jaron Lanier, a pioneer in virtual reality, warns us, social media is an amplifier of envy, and envy is the fuel for consumerism. Understanding this manipulation is the first step to breaking free. When you stop comparing yourself to curated illusions, you reclaim your power. Let's zoom out. At its core, the Tocqueville Effect teaches us something deeply spiritual. The journey matters more than the destination. Many spiritual traditions echo this. Buddhism, for example, emphasizes mindfulness, being fully present in each moment. One of my favorite quotes comes from Eckhart Tolle. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you'll ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. I've started incorporating mindfulness into my daily routine. Whether it's through meditation, yoga, journaling, or simply pausing to take a deep breath, it's not about ignoring your goals, it's about recognizing that fulfillment comes from within, not from external achievements. Here's the motivational takeaway. Progress is not the enemy of happiness, it's your perspective on progress that matters. Instead of seeing each step forward as a reminder of what's left to do, celebrate it as evidence of how far you've come. Tony Robbins puts it perfectly. Progress equals happiness. And he's right, but only when you take the time to acknowledge your growth. Imagine your life as a garden. Each goal you achieve is a flower that blossoms. But if you're constantly staring at the weeds, you'll miss the beauty. Tend to your garden, but don't forget to sit back and enjoy the view. As always, thanks for watching. Value learning, keep growing, and success will come. Let's build something meaningful, one step at a time. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs a mindset shift. I'll see you in the comments below. Peace.